Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Amberg Acres and part 2 of the lean-to build. So we're out here early this morning. It's only like 6 o'clock, so we're out here early. I came out yesterday and I got out here late because Barb's aunt and uncle spent the night here. They're from Oregon. They've been traveling, so they stopped in here. They've been here, but they were here a week ago, and now they came back. They're on their way back, headed back home. So they stopped here for one night to sleep, and then they moved on to Minnesota, I believe they went to. So I didn't get out here until like almost 11 o'clock. And it was so hot and humid yesterday. By the time I was done putting these 4 posts in, you could wring my shirt out. That's how wet I was. So hopefully, seeing I got out here this morning early, I can get these last 3 posts in and then come up with a game plan for what my next step is. So what I'm doing is these posts I cut about 1.5 years ago, 1 year and 4 months, something like that. And they've been sitting out here under a tarp. And they're turning out pretty good. I cut them big, and I learned this right away that if you want to make nice lumber later on after it's dry, you want to cut your stuff big. So I cut these at about 6.5 inches square. And now, once it's been drying for 1.5 years, now I came back and put them on the sawmill, and I cut them down to the 5.5 by 5.5 that I need for these posts. So that's how I'm doing it, and they're coming out really nice and straight. They're beautiful posts. I got these came out of a white pine log that did not have the bugs in yet, so they're really nice. There's no holes in them like some of the wood I've been cutting, and they're turning out beautiful. So then what I do is I'm going and squaring up just the bottom end, and then I'll cut the top end once I figure out where my height is going to be. So the next step here now is I'm trying something that I see other guys doing. They burn this bottom and part of that sides, and that's supposed to help with decay and rot and whatever. Now I don't know if that works. I really don't know. They refer to it as the Shishugiban method, but that's not really, if you go look up the Shishugiban method, that's not really what the Shishugiban was, okay? I can't even pronounce the word. The Shishugiban was a Japanese, I believe, method. They would take cedar logs and then they burn them. They put them in a trough or whatever and burn them. And they char the outside, and basically it bakes the log. It did a couple of things. It made the wood harder, and then the fact that the outside is charred like that keeps the bugs and insects away. So then they could put these posts in the ground, and supposedly they lasted forever. What I'm doing is similar to that, but number one, I'm using white pine. So, you know, cedar already has the water resistant properties to it, or weather resistant, whatever you want to call it, where white pine does not, you know. So all I'm trying to do is hopefully burn the bottom edge of these posts so that when they're in contact with that concrete, they're going to get wet, you know, and hopefully that just slows down the rot process a little bit, you know. That's all I'm hoping for. And like I've said before in other videos, I only need this stuff to last 20 years. So if I can get this to last 20 years, I'll be doing good. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to burn the end of this log here, and then we'll get this post up, and then I got to go find the other 2. I think they're back in the woods here on a different skid. I only had 5 on this skid that I brought up, so I think they're back there. So I got to go find them. Okay, so let's burn this first. So I am just using one of these small torches, and I'm burning the end, and I'm burning it until it's black. And I can see that it's actually burning, that it's charring the wood. So now all I'm doing is I'm burning about 2 inches or so here along on the sides, just up so that it's out of the concrete block. So you can still see moisture coming out of them knots when I put the torch on them knots. But the idea is you don't want any white showing anymore. And it's almost impossible to do because the cracks on the end, you'll never get all the way in there to burn it. Like I say, I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I really don't. I thought I'd try it. It doesn't take that long to do. So I thought I'd try it and see if I can get an extra 5 years out of these posts, then that's what I'm gonna get. I can always come back later. The way I'm making this shed or this lean-to, I can always come back later and replace one post at a time if I have to do that. So let's get this one installed and then we'll get the other two cut. Nice thing about this white pine, this stuff is actually very light. Once it dries like that, so I cut that exactly 5.5 by 5.5, so that fits in there real nice. They stand by themselves before I get the screws in, so that's helping me out. So I just got to check this one down here level, and then I'm going to put the screw in the bottom there. So these boards I'm using here to hold these in place are actually my roof rafters. But my plan is to just use them temporarily and then take them back off once I figure out how I'm going to lock these in place. I'm thinking of doing maybe an X pattern on the inside, and then we can do the outside with whatever we're going to do for a siding type thing. Okay, I need one more board going this way, and then this wall is done. It looks really nice and straight. These posts are turning out beautiful. So now on this one here, because I have nothing to screw it into because it ain't long enough, I'm using these stakes that are used for batter boards and whatever else they're used for. And I just put a screw through just to hold it temporarily. So I got 5 posts in. My dimensions that I'm using is I'm putting the posts are 10 foot on center on that back wall. Then it's 11 foot on center across. And that gives me plenty of room in here to walk alongside the saw. The saw can actually get pushed that way against that wall a little more because you don't really do that work on that side that much, or at least I don't. So I can move it over that way a couple more inches, and that gives me plenty of room here on this side to walk in and out and around. And this is your open section is right here. So I either need to make a 20-foot beam or a 30-foot beam. I'm not sure what I'm going to try and do. I could make 2 beams, you know, a 20-foot and a 10-foot. That might make it easier for installing. But I'm thinking if I do the whole thing at 30 feet, then that might be a more solid structure. You know what I'm saying? So that beam is going to go on top of these posts that are right here in the front. And then on the back side, then I'll just put a board up there, because that doesn't matter back there. It's not really, I mean, it is supporting the roof, but you got 4 posts compared to 2, you know. So I had 5 more posts that I sawed back there, but they all had some kind of damage to them, except for these 2. So this one here, the back one, is a little short. It's only 8 feet. So that should really be on the back wall. So I might pull one of them other ones out and move it to the front. And then this one's long enough, but it's got this big knot in it here, which I don't think that'll affect it structurally wise. You don't know. If it starts to fail at some point, then we gotta put a new one in there. But that's why I say a 30-foot, if I make a 30-foot beam, this one could go in the middle down here, and it wouldn't have as much stress on it. So I start out just taking a real light cut on this side just to square it up. Then I flip it over, and then I take the other 1/2 inch or whatever is left on the other side, and I take it all off in one cut to get to my 5.5 inches. So this is just my method of getting lumber straight. There's other ways of doing it. A lot of guys will say it's all in the way you stack your lumber, that it doesn't come out straight. But to me that's not true, because if you look at every one of these boards that I just took off the stack, it's got nothing to do with being curved the thickness way. It's got to do with the fact that it's wavy lumber from when I cut it the first time. Because I was using a dull blade, or I was pushing too fast, because we were just trying to make boards at the time. So this is my way to alleviate that problem, is to leave them big and then mill some off later on. And that's the only reason I do it. If you don't care what it looks like, then you just go ahead and just keep cutting, you know. And there you got yourself another piece of birdhouse wood. Alright, that's how I'm doing it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take out one of these taller ones, like maybe that corner back there, and then put the shorter one in there, because the slope it's sloping that way. Alright guys, so I got the 8 posts put in. I swapped out that back corner post. It was the easiest one to do, and I brought the taller one up here in front. So now this one right here next to the sawmill head, that's going to be my shortest post for the front wall. So I will strike a line on that, and then I will get a beam. The next step would be to get a beam made and get the beam up there, and then start figuring out how I'm going to tie these walls together. Like I said, I was thinking about an X pattern. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but we'll see. It's all in a day's work. I am done for today. It is my birthday. I officially become a senior citizen. Or let me think once. Is it senior citizen or senile citizen? Not quite sure. But anyhow, taking the rest of the day off. Going to help Barb with some stuff here. And then we're just going to sit around and relax for the day. It's a beautiful day right now. Probably, I'll say it's only in the 70s, and it's got a nice breeze, so it should be a halfway decent day today. So we'll get going on this later this week. We'll get some more done, and we'll show you what we're doing. In the past, people have told me that I'm nuts. Just telling you. So it ended up being a 31-foot beam. Tomorrow I got to get my chain. I have a chain that goes on here that makes that a lot stiffer. And then we got to figure out a way to rig that up and get that lifted up onto there. Just like I did the trusses on the barn. It'll be the same way pretty much. Until tomorrow. This took me all day to get this done. I had to cut these boards down. These were some 14-foot white pine. I had them cut at about 8 inches. So I took them down to 7 inches. So that's a 7-inch by 5-inch beam, basically. That's what's going to go up on top this front side here to make the door. It's getting pretty dark. I think we're going to get wet. So I better get out of here. Till tomorrow. So I had all this help here and nobody remembered to turn the camera on. But we got the beam up. Okay guys, so yesterday we had a bunch of people here and I completely forgot to turn the camera on to film us putting the beam up. My concern is about keeping everybody safe and keeping everybody out of the way so that they don't get in our way or have the beam fall on them or if something bad would happen. So I completely forgot to turn the camera on. Nobody else thought about it. So we got the beam up there and then I realized we never started the camera. But anyhow, just to give you an idea how we did it, I used the same pole that I took the beam out of the garage with yesterday. And the only difference is I add this chain on top. And what this chain does, it's like a strong back. It helps the pole from not bending. Okay? So if you ever seen a jib crane or another type of equipment like that, they always have a bar or something over the top, and that adds extra strength so that long pole does not bend. And that's what that chain does on there. So it lifted that beam like it was nothing. It was way lighter than any of the trusses I put up on the barn when I built the barn. I used the same contraption for that, and it works pretty good. The only issue is that when you're out so far, if you turn your steering wheel just a little bit, the thing really moves a lot, you know. So that's why you have to be careful with it. But it worked really good. So that's how we got that up there. And then after everybody left, and me and Pablo went to work on the joists. So we're not quite halfway yet, but the boards I cut for this project, they ended up being about 6 inches too short. So I added this little piece on here on the end just to make them work. And I'm not really worried about it because it's just a lean-to keep water off at a sawmill. So I wouldn't do this if I was building a barn or something else. But for this here project, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Nobody's gonna see it but me, and that's the way we're building it, so I can use up this lumber that I got cut. And hopefully I got enough. It's looking right now like I might be a few boards short when I get to the other end here, but we'll see when we get that far. So for simplicity, we are just putting these blocks of wood here, basically like a hurricane strap, putting a couple nails into the face of this beam, and then through these boards here into the side of this to hold that on. And that'll be plenty strong for what we're building here. So what does that look like over there? Oh, shit, problem!
Oh, holy shit, Mark!
Holy crap. Is it stable enough?
Yeah, okay.
Well, now you know why they tell you not to stand on the top step. It don't take much.
Don't do as we do.
Yeah. Do as we say, not as we do. Isn't that what your parents told you? Pretty bird. Pretty bird. It's lunchtime. You think he'd be hungry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mikey,
You see him anywhere? No?
I don't see him. That is one. That is.
Oh, go follow.
Where's my pretty bird?
Okay, I'm gonna measure for this first fascia board here. And Mark is over there waiting for the measurement. Okay, Mark, I want 76 and 29 seconds.
Come on, Pablo. I went to Ozaki High.
All right, make it 76 and 7/8.
Okay. My tape measure don't even read 30 seconds.
Okay, we got to measure for the last piece of fascia here. Okay, Mark, I want 59 and 12 256th of an inch.
Come on, Pablo.
What?
I don't know what the hell that is.
All right, go 59 and 5/16 then.
Okay, 59 and 10 30 seconds.
Perfect.
What are you doing to me, Pablo? I only got like a 10th grade education.
10? Really? That's a lot higher than I thought you had.
Well, thanks a lot. Pretty good, Pablo.
Oh, well, we try.
Got a little bit of a sag there in the middle, but yeah, whatever. We'll never see it from downtown Amberg. Alright, now I gotta get down from here somehow. So it's kind of hard getting up here. Oh, almost went off the ladder again. All right, I think that's it for up here. So we're going to look into putting boards up here, 3/4 inch planks, and hopefully that, you know, ties some of this all together and holds it, and then we'd put tar paper down and then whatever we're using for a roofing material. So that's what we're going to look into next. So we're planking out the roof. This is going to make everything a lot stronger and stiffen all these rafters up by putting all these planks in. These are 3/4 inch thick planks and a varying width and length. So we're just measuring them and cutting them as we put them up.
$80 and 9/16.
That's one line past the 1/2 inch mark.
Hang on.
Till on that side.
No, some are hard. $79 and 7/8.
So far so good.
They're looking better than the first ones we put up. Got it?
Yeah.
80 and 3/8.
Why is that curve so bad? Let's flip it this way once. Does it make a difference? Yeah, a little bit. Go ahead. $43 1/4. Use the short. Oh, you got the short piece up there already. That looks pretty good, Pablo.
Yeah,
Even with our wavy lumber here from Amberg Acres.
good enough for Amberg.
Look at the difference in the size of that board. I thought I was getting better at sawing my lumber, but obviously I'm not, because these boards are, the end of this one board here is probably, oh, I don't know, a good 1/4 inch different than the board before it. It is rough sawn lumber, and that's the way rough sawn lumber is. But for what we're doing here, if there's a little gap, it's no big deal, as long as you don't hit it with your shingle nail. I'll go get the next 4 boards ready.
Okay.
Right? Barb, throw him a chair up there so he can sit down while he waits for us.
Boy, am I a lousy throw.
like it's got some poop, dog poop on it.
That was skinnier.
Oh.
Yeah, so these are about 2 inches short of 8 feet now.
Okay. Okay, first one. 91 and 5/8.
How's the view from up here, Pablo? Pretty nice.
Pretty nice. Can you make it?
Okay, let's introduce you to the crew. We got Pablo up on the roof slinging nails. We got Annie Lennox over here sawing the boards. And yours truly, I'm running a sawmill cutting the planks as we're putting them up. Are you having fun today, Barb?
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back. So it's been a couple days since Pablo was here. We did not get the roof closed up. I ran out of boards, which I kind of knew I probably didn't have enough. You know, I can kind of tell that wasn't going to be enough, but we got as far as we could. Okay, so Barb and I are going to finish this up today. It shouldn't take too long. It's about 60 inches or so we got to go. I got a whole bunch more. I went, what was it, on Thursday, I went down to Wasaki. A guy had a couple of pine logs laying there that they cut down in his yard, and he just wanted to get rid of them, so I went and grabbed them with the tractor, brought them back home here and sawed them up quick. So now I got another stack of lumber here to finish this up. Okay, so if you're wondering why I went and got more lumber instead of using the stuff that I got here already, the logs that I got last year, those logs from last year are all full of holes now. The pine beetle has hatched inside the wood and has come out, and I got big 1/2-inch diameter holes coming out of them logs over there, and I got probably 10 logs over there laying over there yet. So those will probably get cut up into firewood. So that's lesson learned for me. If you're gonna go cut pine, you want to get it cut up as soon as possible and get it stacked and stickered, and that eliminates the bugs from getting in it. The bugs, the pine beetle lays its eggs under the bark. So if that log is laying on the ground, that's prime habitat for the pine beetle. They go and they dig a little hole, drill a little hole through the bark, and lay their eggs behind the bark. And then those turn into the larvae. The larvae chew into the wood, and then when it turns back into the bug chews its way back out. And that's where you end up with the big holes through the wood. So, like I say, lesson learned for me. This video is starting to get a little long, so we're gonna end it here. And Barb and I are gonna finish this up, and then we'll make a part 3 for the actual shingling of the roof and the trim and whatever else we decide to do here yet. So, until next time, you know, thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe.